But audience right now, do me a favor and put some applause in the air for our sacrificial poet.
I'm Kush again.
Woo! Woo! Come on, baby.
Do it, you got this.
Do it, baby. You got it.
Set the record straight.
And this is a poem for poetry.
Ooh.
Oh God, how does this one start again?
You got it, girl.
You were written in ink spilt by accident from palms only clinging together for the hour. Never pressing to preserve their poetry, but rather just to keep the ink from spilling. And I guess the hardest part is knowing that I'm still a poet. It's embracing the realization that those words couldn't dissipate into the page, though I erased them. And it's the rift that slipped its ghostly limbs in between our relationship, taking you in its arms like I only wished I could. Wafting amidst the waves of an estival afternoon, I rested my head against a cold shoulder, listening to the music in your ultrasound drift into ultra silence. Seasick and scarlet as the letters chiseled in my cervix, I swayed in and out of nightmares of eraser shavings lying across desert like ashes in an urn of my stomach. I only cradle because there's still a poem in them that I always knew by heart and maybe even by instinct. A mother always knows the presence of poetry being written in the walls of her womb. So when I wept at the perception of your conception, the water ran in free verse. Remembering a time when I was so afraid of my demons that I'd feed them your songs until they were too full to take mine. Sorry for surviving and reliving the night I was captured by pirates and shanghaied into an abortion clinic where I allowed thieves to spear their javelins into my treasure chest and steal my poetry. Calligraphic and bloody, spilling across examination table paper and swords, just one of the many things the travel brochures forgot to mention, like what to expect when expecting the unexpected, the backspace key and typewriters to backspace the nights we spent unprotected, the option most corrected when these are the options that we're left with. And I guess the hardest part is knowing that I'm still a poet with a 68-page notebook and one piece in faded print. At 16 weeks you had 10 of them and I smudged them back left-handed. Poetry, incompleted sentence, fragmented but beautiful in all the ways I imagined you'd be. I was still trying to pick the glass out of my first LTAB piece, ironically swallowing glass apologies and bleeding eulogies for a life that wasn't lived. Poetry smeared into poems, never pressing to preserve but to keep from spilling ink, fertilizing a mistake that grows by the ounce. Lullabies I sung to you with my lungs for you to hear on your heartbeat, but the beat is gone and the songs are a cappella. My fingers feeling for a pulse against a barren belly like oceans calling for seashells with no whisper left in them. Thank you.